Good day. My name is SeeWing Yee from the Yee Real Estate Network. And today I'm going to talk about government foreclosure buying opportunities. Again, before I will go over my presentation, I'd like to briefly share with you my background. And I'm US Army retired, 20 years of service. I retired back in 2002. We're talking 19 years ago. So my company, Yee Real Estate Network, we specialize in helping real estate investors to buy turnkey remote real estate investment opportunities in the best markets in the country, namely cash flow markets, right? So mainly in South and Southeast. South and Southeast has the best cash flows for various reasons. Uh, so the price have to be, uh, must be affordable pricing, and the rent should cover, someone's debt obligations with the 20 to 25% down payment. Anyway, but I'm not going to talk about regular turnkey single family home investing for investors. Today's presentation, I'm going to talk about government VA foreclosures. Obviously, because of my military background, and been traveling all over the country and having purchased and sold many investment properties over my 15 years of career in real estate. So I suffice to say, you can make the argument that I know I know my uh, the government foreclosures. So government foreclosures are just like any other house, okay, and that you're buying, okay. Just keep that in mind. Uh, so without further ado, let me share my screen. And so in later this year, later in 2021, there will be, I'm not going to say a tidal wave of foreclosures. I would say, a slow wave, like a calming wave. So again, my niche market is government VA foreclosures, veteran administration foreclosures. Now, these properties that I have before you is a sample property of houses that are in foreclosure. Again, this type of houses at one time or another has been owned by an active duty military service member or by a veteran of the US military service. All right, so those scenarios. They just happen to buy these kind of properties uh, with a 0% VA loan, right? Veteran administration loan. So when you spend more than 90 days of active service in the U.S. military or the National Guard, for that matter, or the Army part-time reserve, you're qualified to buy a owner occupied principal home with 0% down payment. All right. So my specialty, as I said, is to target foreclosures in this space, if you will, right? Government foreclosures. So those military active duty members, retirees, or ex-veterans who, for whatever reason, during this pandemic or the result of the pandemic or whatever crisis they have, loss of a job, disability, bankruptcy, that got overwhelmed, divorce, whatever stressful situation where they they don't have enough equity in their house because they bought it 0% down, so they have very little skin in the game, and so they let the house go. It is that simple, right? So I say it again, the kind of houses that I'm targeting are like any house out there. Understand? It's not like the government own these houses. Yeah, I mean the loan has been done by the VA, the Veteran Administration, a part of the Department of Veterans Affairs within the government, right? So when you as a buyer or investor, whatever, that are targeting this type of VA government foreclosures, and once you able to accomplish your goal buying this kind of foreclosure properties, I mean, it's yours. I mean, it's just like any other properties, right? You just took it out of the government's hands. You know what I'm saying? So this is a like a is a REO, real estate owned foreclosure, or it doesn't matter. It's a foreclosure. It's a good house, presumably in a good neighborhood. Well, that's where I would come in, right? As a VA foreclosure expert, I've done VA foreclosures throughout the past 10 years, right? From time to time. Sometimes the VA foreclosure programs are not available. It all depends on a uh, a situation, an economic situation, and how the government plays this kind of game. But at the end of the day, you as a buyer, you as an investor, you have an opportunity. Hopefully, through my help, I know it's not easy, right? If you do it on your own, I mean, it's very, very difficult. So I have a turnkey system where I help investors to buy this kind of a government VA foreclosures. It is that simple, right? And I prefer investor out there that have 2 years of investing experience. That means if you come to me, if you want me to help you buy these VA foreclosures, I can help you, but I prefer that you have at least 2 years of investing experience, right? That means on your tax return in the past 2 taxable year, you're showing a rental property ownership on your Schedule E supplemental income tax return. All right. So ideally, okay. So if you can do that, if you qualify to get a loan, regular loan that is, you know, 25% down loan or even something less, if you have 2 years of investing experience, as I said earlier, these government foreclosures are potentially a good purchase for you. I mean, this is uh, this niche system, buying via foreclosure, is quite specialized. I mean, very few people that I know, in fact, no one that I know in the country that understand this system inside out than myself, because I have experience. I've done it myself. I've purchased VA loans for my own personal portfolio years and years ago, and now I have other rental properties that I've purchased, but not government foreclosures. But I understand this system, okay? So again, if you have 2 years of investment experience, somewhat savvy, you qualify with a regular loan. This kind of property, not all of these properties are good. I will hand pick the best 5% of all the foreclosure properties that comes into the marketplace, right? Some of these homes like too expensive, right? Or they're located in a boondock. No, okay. I know the market. I know each neighborhood in different part of the country. I know what market to purchase, and I know how to do the research and due diligence, and I know how to work with property managers, put together a rehab team, all those kind of things, right? So don't worry about that, right? If you have the motivation to buy government foreclosure, I'm not saying we're going to get 50% discount. No, you might get 10 to 15% discount, but you have to pay the rehab costs, right? I'm going to identify the property that have a very, very minimal cosmetic repair, maybe less than 20 grand out of your pocket, in addition to the down payment. Actually, if you qualify, uh, you can put, when you make an offer, you can put less than 20% down. You can do a 5% down. What we call it the Vendy financing. Vendy financing as an investor, you can buy these government foreclosures with only 5% down with a 3.2% 30-year amortized mortgage rate. And then, so that would be less money out of your pocket. So that's, and then of course you pay the closing costs, your down payment, your rehab costs. If you have costs like, let's say 15,000 cosmetic repair out of your pocket, then 5% down on an investment property for 150 grand, we're talking 7,500. 7,500 plus 15 grand, 22,000 plus closing costs, another 3,000, 4,000, like $25,000 total cost, total out of your pocket to buy a via foreclosure in a good market for like 150 to 175,000. In a cash flow market where you can rent the property easy, you can buy for under market value, for potential for good appreciation. Believe me, I know the markets. Okay, I mean, I'm not asking you to buy in California or New York State or in Chicago or no, none of those high price areas. They do not make sense for foreclosure or otherwise, right? We have to buy a property that the price is it makes sense. The price versus the rent ratio, it makes sense. The cap rate, the cash on cash return, the rent to value ratio, all has to make sense. And that's my job, right? I pick the property that are workable, that makes sense to me and to my investors. So, even though you only see 5 properties in here, most of them, I'm not going to do that. I know what market to buy, what price point, and the condition of the property, the rental market situation, what market, what city, what neighborhood. That's my job, and I know my job. So I have a unique understanding of all the markets throughout the country, right? I've been doing it for many, many years. I help my investors sell regular investment properties in many markets over the past 15 years. So, right, that's all I have to say. This is just a sample properties out there, but the foreclosure, the government foreclosure will count down the pipeline later this year. We don't know when because there's a more, as you may not know, there's a foreclosure moratorium, right? There's a forbearance going on out there, and most loans that are under the government-backed loans, Fannie Mae, lending guideline, VAs, and FHA, they have a foreclosure moratorium until the 30th of June. So if they do not extend the moratorium beyond 30 June 2021, then we will see systematic outflow of potential foreclosure properties coming down the pipeline, and that's where we go to work, right, together. So I can help you on a one-on-one basis. It's not going to be easy. It's fairly time-consuming. There's a little bit of fee involved, not that much, but it's worth it. At the end of the day, you're buying property slight undervalue, even factor in the rehab cost that will come out of your pocket. I'll help you pick the right property, get the renter in with a local property management so you can achieve at least break even, maybe even positive cash flows, right? That's the idea, right? So it works. I've done it before. So that's it. That's all I have to say. Just this sort of a preparatory presentation. Things will come down in the pipeline for the remaining this year and beyond. So this government via foreclosure system will be around for several years or even longer. So it's a very exciting opportunity. So if you are motivated investors out there, you don't have to contact me because there's really very little, if any, inventories to speak about. But you can enter my website, yeerealestatenetwork.com, at the bottom of this video, and put your email on my newsletter. Then you watch for these opportunities in your email inbox. So when and if you are ready, then contact me. Then we'll consult. All right. So that's all I have to say. Yeah, thank you very much for attending. This is SeeWing Yee from the Yee Real Estate Network. And have a nice day. Bye.